It's the great whipper-snipper standoff. Michael is the caretaker of a townhouse complex, but locals say they're frightened of him. They reckon he has an anger management issue, and reporter Dan Nolan found out fast why that is.
Michael, do you think you can put the whipper-snipper down for a moment and have a chat? Whoa, 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 buddy.
There are people walking around here that are frightened.
Michael, do you think you have an anger management problem?
I don't feel safe at all.
Is it normal for a caretaker to make residents feel so frightened they call 000?
Life at the leafy Northmark complex should be relaxed and tranquil, but in recent times it's degenerated into threats.
I used to watch you from the window. You're going to pay for this.
Abuse, multiple police complaints, even about the use of leaf blowers. Most of the issues centre around this man, Michael Daniel, hired on a long-term contract as caretaker for the complex.
Half of that role is a PR role. It's dealing with people, making people feel safe, helping people out in the community. That's why it's called a caretaker role.
Sam DeBartolo lives here and is also treasurer on the Body Corporate Committee, which has had a number of disagreements with Michael Daniel.
We just want the caretaker to work with the committee, treat people with respect, do his job.
Well, the general vibe at the moment is that everyone just tries to avoid him.
Tristan Lambrat is also a committee member who recently recorded this encounter with the caretaker.
Matter, can't you stalk my wife anymore, mate?
I'm not stalking anyone.
You were stalking my wife for 6 months. I used to watch you from the window. You're going to pay for this. Tough boy, eh? We'll see.
Tristan says he was shocked, including over this parting shot.
That's I talked to your wife about it, eh? You stalk women.
It was frightening. He's threatening me, accusing me of doing things that I'd never done or wouldn't be doing anyway.
Stop making rumours up about me.
Here's another recent flashpoint outside Unit 17, one of around 20 units that Michael Daniel is also the letting agent for.
Keep your language down, you fool. Keep your language down. Don't tell me what to do.
The tenant's home is one of 19 at the complex, requiring major repair works after flood damage a year ago that caused black mould in some units.
Do you actually understand what's in this house? Do you understand?
You don't have to give a form.
Do you care enough about... No, you don't have to give a form.
Of course!
There is no form.
The tenant is furious with Michael Daniel, claiming he'd only been given 9 days to find alternative accommodation for him and his family.
Do your job right and no one tells you what to do.
Really?
Do your job right then.
I have done my job correctly.
He's frustrated. This guy had 9 days to vacate that property. He had nowhere to go.
G'day. How you going? Is it Michael?
Talk to me, buddy.
We caught up with Michael Daniel while he was working outside the complex on Brisbane's north side.
There's been a few blow-ups about the black mould issues here. Have you got a minute to talk to us about that?
I know nothing about it. You're better off to go and talk to the committee.
We explained the complaints from tenants about receiving little notice to vacate.
You've come with somebody else's idea. First come for the facts before you come with somebody.
Well, we're here for the facts.
RTA.
We're here for the facts. Do you feel like you're a threatening person?
Our questions had to wait as we gave Michael a wide berth whilst wielding that whippersnipper. Eventually, he approached us.
It's actually a body corporate job. It's inside the body corporate walls.
But that didn't necessarily mean he was keen to answer any questions.
So there is no notice you have to give when it's flood damage.
So
you need to go and check the legislation with the RTA before you come to me. Can you do that?
Well,
good on you, man.
Could you just, do you mind just turning that off for a minute? Michael. Hey, mate, watch what you're doing with that, buddy. Watch what you're doing with the whippersnipper.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to us?
What followed was some rather vigorous edging and lawn trimming as we waited patiently.
Hopefully once Michael's finished on the whippersnipper there, we might be able to get a few more questions.
But instead, he tried to make a run for it, ducking through a gate to get inside the complex, where we were already invited guests by residents.
Michael, do you think you can put the whippersnipper down for a moment and have a chat? Whoa, 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 buddy. Whoa, buddy, that's not safe.
You'd hope that was an accidental press of the throttle, but we're starting to understand how some of the residents feel.
Why do the residents here feel so threatened by you, Michael?
We follow him until he gets back to the dedicated caretaker's office, where he then makes an unexpected demand.
Michael, would you like to answer any of our questions? Some of the residents here feel threatened by your behaviour. What have you got to say about that?
Get inside and I'll talk to you.
No, I'm not going inside. Not while you got that whippersnipper. Not while you got that whippersnipper.
A few minutes later, he returns from his office in a calmer mood.
I need to put hearing aids in because I can't hear you at all.
Oh, okay.
But you're going to listen to me.
Okay, sure.
But still ready to dish it out to another resident who we hadn't even met yet.
And you, go away, silly old man.
You're calling one of the residents here, eh?
This guy's a problem.
So it's funny, a lot of the residents here say you're a bit of a problem.
No, none of the residents said that, mate. I've got 8 of them in my house because...
Michael Daniel, who's also a licensed real estate agent, explains in great detail why the rushed departures over the flood repairs were not his fault.
We explained to them the job will be done when we find out. The day that we found out, we gave them the information.
Both the committee and residents dispute that timing, but it's the threats that we'd like to get some more answers on.
I don't threaten anybody.
You don't threaten anybody?
No. Why would I do that?
Do you think you have
Do you have proof of this?
Well, I've seen it.
Do you have proof of this? You have video proof that I'm threatening somebody. Listen, if you're going to keep filming me, don't film me.
You can now attack me.
This video resulted in a police complaint, but no charges were laid.
You want to film this, I'll explain it to you.
It happened at a committee meeting where Michael was keen to explain some rules about who was allowed to speak.
He's allowed to be at the meeting, but he's not allowed to speak unless he has approval of 3 votes each time he speaks.
He's allowed to speak if the chairperson allows him to speak. And if other people are meeting,
that's fine.
You can see he's not happy when the chairperson overrules his interpretation.
The new rule, another new rule.
Another one.
No, it's not a new rule, it's just a different interpretation of a rule.
Seconds later, he snaps.
If you're going to keep filming me, don't film me.
He tells me he uncovered additional footage that shows those filming him actually assaulted his wife, but fails to provide us with a copy.
Happy for you to share that with me.
I wasn't angry. I actually sat through that whole thing, but I was very angry that they were able to twist my wife's arm. She put a hand up, they twisted it.
You seem pretty angry now, Michael.
Yeah, but I've got work to do, mate.
You seem pretty angry now. Do you think do you have an anger management problem?
I've explained to you how the system works.
Do you have an anger management problem?
If you need to talk to anybody, talk to him.
Do you have an anger management problem, do you think?
Not yet.
No, we don't feel safe in the community when Michael is here.
Elaine Lutz is the chairperson of the Body Corporate Committee, who also made a police complaint against Michael Daniel over an incident inside his office.
I was really shaken up. It took me a good 10 minutes to sit in my car and stop shaking.
She says Michael sent text messages to other committee members claiming she had assaulted him.
I don't see how a 50-year-old woman with arthritis can assault a man, but who knows?
In another incident, more abuse was hurled at this resident who was undergoing chemotherapy. This incident also resulted in a police complaint from the resident in the blue T-shirt, claiming Michael Daniel had behaved strangely towards his wife.
This guy stopped me. They stopped me.
Michael claims he's the victim, giving the residents a spray with his leaf blower for good measure. It seems a far cry from the way real estate agent Michael Daniel advertises properties for sale in the complex.
Presents a relaxed lifestyle and low-maintenance living.
More CCTV shows him blowing leaves onto residents' driveways and then into their garden beds. Another video shows him blowing a large amount of leaves all the way down a street before pushing them all onto a council park.
what we find is the next breeze that fires up, those leaves are back out on the street again. So it's constant, it never ends.
The day we visit, there are plenty of leaves lying around the place. Residents providing these pictures of drains filled with them too.
Well, it's a complaint about the leaf blowing as well, that residents say, why don't you just pick it up and put it in a bin instead of blowing it into the garden?
What the hell's that got to do with you?
Well, it's to do with you.
Do you know what my contract says?
It's to do with you as a caretaker.
Excuse me, do you know what my contract says?
What does it say?
Wow! Wow, that's amazing.
Michael Daniels' caretaker contract earns his company Duo Perfect $87,000 per year and has 5 years left to run.
What about the leaf blowing? What does it say about leaf blowing?
What are you discussing my contract for?
Well, you're the one who brought up your contract.
You're weird, mate. You're strange.
The current committee hired a forensic auditor to analyse invoices claimed by Michael Daniel, who found he had received $18,000 in payments he was not entitled to. He was asked to repay the money and then had it docked from his wages instead.
The legal advice that we received at the time was that we can withhold payment, which we did, just to recover that amount of money.
Michael Daniel has now issued a counterclaim, which is before the courts, re-emerging to deliver one final statement prepared by his lawyer.
And look forward to the matter being resolved by the tribunal and are confident of a favourite outcome. Thank you.
And that's in relation to which bit?
That's all you needed.
Which bit?
All you needed.
We as a community want Michael to do his job. We want him to be respectful of the owners and the tenants in the community.
Treat people with respect, all right? You know, there are people walking around here that are frightened.
Maybe you seek anger management, mate.
Well, a whippersnipper is annoying at the best of times, but in the hands of this bloke, it's next level. If you've had any dealings with Michael Daniel, we'd like to hear from you.